Hello. Hi, this is stream number 34. I hope I'm counting right. Working on a tool that uses this. Sarian, you're here. You're first. Edit com. What is today? Let me parse. I mean, that's not incorrect, but maybe we could be more specific. Today, finishing up Raimu is. Complete sentences now. Raimu's finishing up operations and complex data types in his parser engine. Good morning, Taz. Deej. We should just say Taj. Taz. Tazdij. How are you doing? All right. To-do driven development. Down to 5 to-dos that aren't in comments. Many more in comments. So there are basically 3 things left. Unary ops, the set binary op, and sets, vectors, maps, which kind of all go together, the complex values. Let's do unary ops. That's flip, negative, and not. I think these should not be too bad. Close some files. Oh, shouldn't close that one. Oops. That's okay. We'll end up opening it back up. Go to ops. Let us test flip. Flip, bit flip. So that is tilde. Don't worry about the name. It's a word in a made-up language for a game your dad and you worked on. Oh, that's cool. Hey there, bathroom homie. How'd you come up with your username? Hey, we have a command for that. If you're talking to me, bathroom homie. World of Warcraft character name generator. Which means there are like a bunch of other Raimus out there, but like, since I think none of them are really serious game players at all, you could probably find out which character's mine if you just search World of Warcraft on Raimu. Probably the highest level one is me. I don't know of any other Raimu. So I guess we'll make this a little bit interesting. 0101 1111. Bit flip should be 10100000. Actually, let's put a 0 at the last because I feel like it. That's what we get if we bit flip. Not yet implemented. Let's copy from evaluate binary op and evaluate unary. We don't have a left-hand side, just a right-hand side. Actually, let's just copy all of this. Actually, let's copy all of it. Huh. Should I just copy binary op to unary op? Why not? Under expression. Easy. So we're just going to change all the bins to uns. Clone and copyable. Look at that magic that I did there. What is this magic? Okay. Delete, 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 delete. This is bit flip. This is twos, well, flip sign. This is logically negate. Okay. But wait, unary expression, there's no left-hand side. I don't have to evaluate the left-hand side. And I don't have to do it if sum. Why is this an expression and not a option expression? Oh, sorry. It's we could get an option value, right? So we're gonna check the right-hand side because it's easier that way, so that we don't have to deal with options. Actually, it would just be RHS flip, right? Flip, 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 flip. Okay, and then I just need to implement flip for a value. Implement value, where are you? Oh, it's in a submodule. Right. Okay, so I don't know. How about we just take a bitwise like mask, copy that and call it flip value, then we'll have the mod flip. This should go, this feels like it's gonna go pretty quick. Flip. Change mask to flip. There is no other value. So match self, unsigned. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Doesn't make sense to flip a signed integer. You would negate that, right? So, well, value. Okay. Bit flip value. It's the brain fart. What's that called? What is that symbol? Bang. Bang is one term for it. Exclamation mark. It's an exclamation mark in Rust is a bit flip. So bit flipping. Yep, you got it. You got to get off my lawn. You get a points for being a non-lurker this morning. That's your consolation prize. Here's another bot idea. Although this could probably go horribly wrong. Bot idea. Awards for award the greatest lurker in the stream at the end. It could go horribly wrong if it just keeps rewarding other bots. So the idea would be, it would be someone that we know is not a bot, but maybe has been lurking for the longest time. And then maybe bot idea, consolation prize for X lurker with most lurking time. So that idea would be you chat, but you're a lurker for a long, long time. And you get a consolation prize for chatting. Yeah, 1 point for Slytherin. What am I going to do with these points? I don't know. Getting rid of that. Flipping? Flipping. Let's go back to the ops tests. Where are you, ops? Here you are. Building. Failed. Oh, yeah, right. That is correct, but it's flipping all 64 bits, isn't it? Maybe we want to have an argument for the number of bits that something has, or do I need to like keep track of how many bits something has? I think that's too complicated. I think I'd rather just yeah, I think I'd rather just have an argument for actually then actually let me just change the test then. So it should be that and FF, right? Mask off those upper bits. Then it's okay. Why do something complicated when you can do something simple? So the next is what is it? Unary ops. Negative. Test negative. Okay, there, let's make it an integer. Return negative x. Okay, so bytes. Let's put in like 42 and expect signed integer negative 42. And then let's also have like a negative overflow, because that's possible. So there we'll put negative 128. And then we should expect none with an error. All right, first things first, the negative test. What does the C++ version do? C++ version of what? Were you looking at the to-dos and saw C++? Regards to the bit flipping. Oh, good question. Let's go look. Data or decomposition. Decomposer. Flip. It's actually probably an expression or value. Maybe value integer. Unary operation, flip. Yeah, I guess it just does the same thing because value is int 64t. Hey there, Great Jack. I'm working on a porting to Rust for fun. The DataDisintegrator. It pulls apart bytes from a binary file or stream, assigns meaning to every piece based on a description of the data format written in domain-specific language. Here's the domain-specific language. So you have some image you want to parse. So we look at the first 24 bits, and if it's GIF, it's a GIF or GIF. And that's the structure of it. Starts with the header, ends with the trailer, has a logical screen, has some data blocks. Logical screen has a descriptor and a color table. Logical screen descriptor has a width and a height, right? So this is the domain-specific language. The tool compiles this into an abstract syntax tree and then does an in-order traversal of that tree along with your input file, and then spits out a data composition which describes the data. So it would give you a data composition called image, and if it was a GIF, you would have a GIF child, and that would have a header, trailer, all the data blocks, all that good stuff. Very similar to Wireshark. So you drop packets into Wireshark. You can see the raw packet bytes, or you can see how it has disassembled them into packets and their elements. So just doing it for fun. Also, the tool is useful for studying binary files. Like it's sort of like a super hex editor. Instead of just seeing the raw bytes like this, it kind of if you could tell it how to parse it, it will break it down into into a compositional structure. And then the stretch goal of it would be if you could do the reverse, that you could start with a composition, a data tree, and then edit it, and then hit a button, and it would regenerate the binary file from that. One use for that, a practical use, might be repairing damaged files, or cheating in role-playing games. I did this when I was a kid. So there's this game called Wizardry, and it was on the Apple II, and your save game was on a certain sector of the floppy disk. So we figured out, reverse engineered which byte on which sector of the disk stored our character's experience points, and we would change it from a 0 to an FF and save it, and then load up the game, and poof, we got billions of experience points. Easy, no more grinding. You did too much binary parsing from your the programming days, hacking 3DS console, you learned a lot from it. Yeah, so this tool might be helpful for stuff like reverse engineering formats, because you could just make guesses and describe your guesses in the format structure, and then just run the tool and see if what the tool thinks. You could have conditions, so you could like check to see if something meets what you think. If not, do an error. You could could have loops. So loops will turn into vectors. So data is not a scalar anymore; it's a vector. You can have 0 or many data blocks. We should do something like that when you use these to do stuff. Yeah. One of my motivations for making this in the first place years ago, because I made it in C first, was that I was working with save game files for a game I was working on, and I'd have bugs, and I'd be like, oh, I just have this blob of data. There's nothing that can understand it other than my game, and my game is just crashing when I load the game. So what is it? So I'm like, what if I just describe the game save file format, and then I can study it like it was a hex editor. Like that's really useful. Oh yeah, we can't have negative 128 there, can we? We can do an all ones bit pattern. Actually, negative 128 would be 1 and then all zeros, right? So that should be an error, because you can't, that'll be an overflow when you do the negative. See, so yeah, my unit tests focus on a really microscopic aspect of the parser. So I take very, very degenerate example formats and parse them. So this is just saying that you have some data foo, and that has an integer called x, which is 8 bits long, and take that integer and negate it. So you take the negative of it. So if you have a byte that's 42, you should get negative 42 out. And if it's the largest negative number, you invert it, should be an error because it'll overflow. So we have a not yet implemented. That's going to be right-hand side negative. So let's just copy paste flip to negative. Negative. So I'm doing something radically different in the structure of the program compared to the C++. The C++, I put everything in a big file called decomposer. Well, most of it, or actually value. That's not true, because the value classes each had their own file. But I tended to make monolithic files that were like, see, this is 2,694 lines long. I'm doing the other extreme with the Rust, which is to make a lot of little files. Mod negative. Already did this. Mod negative. Go in there. Okay. Negative. So we support signed integers, right? We could possibly support unsigned integers, right? By doing it would be the first operation that we support implicit typecast to signed, but I think I'm just going to leave this as it is right now. So reverse a flipping sign is unsupported for whatever other type. So this one I got to do like a checked negative, right? I just realized something. Our test isn't quite going to work because you could totally take the negative of negative 128 for a 64-bit assigned integer. I'm going to have to go back into the test and like do where's the file? Did we not pin it? Didn't, no, it's just at the end. I have to take the largest, I have to extend this to 64 bits. So I need a bunch more bytes. That's 2. I need 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So that's a 64-bit largest negative number. All right. So then this needs to be 64. Okay. So the check negative, it's going to maybe have an error, so we need to map error. What's check negative return? I'm guessing it's returning a none if it overflows, so I guess I want to do an OK or, right? Question mark. Actually, this, I could also do this with a map to sign integer and remove the OK because this actually gives us a result. Or I could just do it this way. That works too, right? This should, why does it say test negative? It just should be negative. Run it. It passes. How about our overflow test? It fails. No, it passes, but just says overflow. Let's have it say something better. Oh, I missed a bunch of text in chat. The Rust part will be open source. Nope, because of job rule number 3. Job rule number 3 would be violated. What if you somehow include the C++ version during the unit tests? I don't think so, because the unit tests are testing my library through its API, and the C++ code uses a different API. I could maybe leverage, if I have little program fragments from the C++, I could have leveraged those maybe, but even like the assertions would look different. I'd have to have something to translate the assertions from C++ to Rust, I guess. There's a crate for running C++ code and getting the result from the output. It just wouldn't be testing the Rust library anymore. It'd be testing the C++ code, because the way that that was built, it was statically linking with the C++ implementation. So I'd have to do 2 things. I'd have to have that, what you said, to run C++ code, but I also need to probably redesign the C++ code to have dependency injection of the implementation, and then we'd be able to replace the Rust implementation in place of the C++ one. So it'd be a lot of work. More about porting libraries or for porting apps. You can do integration tests, calling both tools. It seems like a lot of work. Okay, I was gonna see what like add no like left shift Okay, so like the left shift test would just print left overflow left shifting? And I actually never had a test for that. Okay, do I have any negative tests? Or not negative tests, like overflow tests? Or subtract underflow, what does that say? Overflow subtracting unsigned integers. So I guess I just have to be more specific and say like overflow taking the negative. Okay, so that's what we'll do. Overflow taking the negative of a signed integer. Okay, I did an okay or else because I was constructing a string. Do I want to do the same thing for negative? It looks like I was actually able to use a slice, and then the try turned it into that. Does that mean I never needed to do that? Maybe. What's the warning? Unnecessary closure. Right, because this could just be an okay or. Well, look at that. So I don't actually need to do any of these two strings. Huh. So we should just search for okay or else then. Hey, look at all these places we don't need to do that. Huh. It's let's get the advantage of the try operator, right? This try operator is doing the cast of that to a string. If you want to have one-to-one feature parity with a tool that's being ported, you need this. That assumes that my C++ code is adequately unit tested, and I'm not confident in that, actually. I agree about the professionally part, though. 1 and 2 are quite okay rules. The third you felt like too much. Well, there is a escape hatch for rule 3, and that's that I get formal permission for a project, but I've been told that it's next to impossible, that I have to wait years, and I might never hear back about it anyway, because you're Brazilian. As such rule be illegal. In America, in the U.S., the at-will employment is if you agree to the contract rules and they're not inherently illegal, then you take it or you leave it. And I don't think it's illegal in the U.S. to say you can't upload code to GitHub if you work here. If you want to upload code to GitHub, then go find another job. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a lawyer, so maybe it's illegal, but I tend to think if it was illegal, someone would be challenging it in the courts and would have probably prevailed if they were right. Or, yeah, I don't know. Then we're getting to philosophical discussions about whether we can have companies follow the law by depending on the justice system to test the legality and the actions of companies. And then we're getting to some really gray areas, aren't we? Yeah, so this one needs to be a string, right? But if I do that, I don't need to have it to be a string. See that? See how magically the question mark fixes that? You know what's interesting is the help doesn't suggest it. Arguments to this univariate are incorrect. The type constructed contains a static slice due to the type argument best. Tuple variant defined here. Try using conversion method, but really what we want to do is question mark. Haha. We don't need to do toString. Same thing here. Question mark saves the day. Does that mean I also don't need this thing here? Can I just do a question mark? No. This one is a little bit too much. I would have to have a direct mapping from whatever try from returns to string, and it's not implicit, but it does implement toString. It can almost get it, but not quite. So here's another hot take on the open source job thing. So maybe we can say that I'm okay with the rule for now, but it doesn't restrict me from doing things like later in life. So later in life, I could maybe I retire and I go back to streaming. At that point, I could start doing open source stuff, right? So I certainly don't want to work the rest of my life. I want to be able to retire at some point. When I retire, I don't want to be super bored. So I'll probably do something like streaming, and then hey, we can do open source now. In fact, I can violate all three rules. I can do game dev again. I can talk about the work I did, right? Nothing's stopping me. Because as far as I know, when you retire from a job, like the universal truth is you're not um, bound to any rules from that company anymore. I guess unless you sign an NDA because you were doing some super secret stuff. And then that kind of makes sense. Like, sure. But except for that, like, why not go onto GitHub? Why not put my work onto GitHub that I'm doing in the stream, right? So I'm okay with not doing it now as long as I would still be able to do it later. And another aspect of it is I'm not doing the stream and this code just to share the code. It's more like the sharing the process of making the code. Anyone could do what I'm doing, right? You could just follow along and do what I'm doing. You wouldn't need me to check this code in. You copy press you for pushing code on GitHub? Yeah, without authorization. Need authorization. It needs to be okayed by the legal department, as in like it doesn't have anything to do with my job and there's no conflict of interest. And yeah, so that's just rules, job rules. There be job rules. Yep, it's a thing. So if you have a job where you're still allowed to work on open source, then enjoy that freedom. Because there are companies that don't want you to do that. All right, so I'm just gonna run all my tests to make sure I didn't break anything there, because that was a pretty cool trick there. You're using that question mark operator to do casting for us. Hey, we passed all our tests. So we're going to to-dos again. One more unary op, right? The not. Okay, so let's go to ops. Go to the end and add a not. So this is a logical not, right? When I mistype, I end up losing my with contents of the clipboard. Logical not. So x equals true. Return not x. Should be Boolean false. Don't need any bytes. Run test. Not implement. We will implement it. Okay, so I have been just using the shorthand. So not. Yep. And not. Oh, wall of text time. Oh, but first, Greyjack says, we also think that such rules set precedence for more abusive rules being okay, not in the short term, but in the long term. So, Greyjack, you're probably right. The eternal struggle of the workers versus the corporations, and then now we're treading into political territories, right? But let me just sum it up in saying that corporations are only existing to make money for their shareholders, nothing else. So if a corporation ever says that they're doing good for the planet or good for their employees, don't believe them. That might be a secondary goal, but it's not their primary goal. Primary goal, make money for their shareholders. So of course they're going to try to abuse the rules because they don't care about the rules. They only care about making money for shareholders. They can make more money for shareholders by abusing the rules. They will do so. Now, we have this thing called government, which exists to impose rules of society and justice and all that. So government will go after corporations if they abuse too many rules and they don't bribe all the politicians. So also there's the idea of like the court of public opinion. So if a corporation is truly evil and abuses all the rules, they'll probably get found out and it'll go viral and their reputation will go into the shitter, right? So a lot of times companies will just will tread that line of what can we get away with and still make money for our shareholders or make enough money for our shareholders. Some companies will just abuse the rules and get fined constantly, but hey, we're still making a lot of money for our shareholders. So they consider those fines a cost of doing business. So that putting it into that perspective, I don't think it really matters that precedents be set for abusing rules. I think corporations and companies already try to abuse rules where they can. So the balance is things like public opinion and government rules. Other forces hold those companies and corporations in check. And if we as a society don't like that, then we should be looking for ways to do what we can to make it a better situation. But yeah, I don't want to delude. I don't like the idea of people being deluded into thinking that that we might be incentivizing companies to break more rules. It's like they already have plenty of incentive to do that. As long as it makes them more money, they'll do it. Hey there, Albert Larson. Never trust companies. Yeah, well, you can trust companies to try to make money. So if your relationship with the company is you want them to make money for you, you can trust them to do that. The only time a company won't make money for you as an investor is if they're incompetent. Happens. Plenty of incompetent people out there because selfishness vies for the motivations of humans, right? Selfishness is one of those things that vies for your attention. So if a corporate leader becomes too selfish, they'll go against the one mandate of corporations, and they'll try to make themselves money rather than making money for their shareholders. But usually that works out to be that they get kicked out or some scandal, right? Because the rest of the corporation finds out and they're like, you're making money for yourself, not our shareholders, so you're out. They try and they do, but not doing nothing makes it easier for them to abuse even more. I think at some point, those counter forces push back enough. Principle slippery slope. That principle relies on like the boiling the what is it? Boiling the lobster. That if you tolerate a small wrong, that you'll continue to tolerate it, and you'll get too tolerant, and then you'll allow more abusive behavior. Maybe you're right. I generally don't think that that's true for corporations, though. I think that in the public, well, maybe I could maybe be convinced that that's true. But yeah, I'm not the best political thinker or philosopher, so I wouldn't trust myself. I'd rather stick to domains of engineering where I feel a lot more comfortable. What was I doing here? This is not right. We're turning this into that this oh, we want to be able to support more types, right? In fact, in general, we want to first try to cast it to a Boolean. So I've already written this. Why not steal from somewhere else I've written this? Logical OR. Cast a bool. Actually, then it's a lot easier, right? Because we don't have errors. We let cast to bool take care of the errors for us. Cast it to bool. It just becomes value. Try again. How come my F2 isn't working? No references found. Do I need to save first? Is that because this is not pulled in as a module? Probably. Now you can refactor, right? Yes. If value, return some not value. Actually, hold on. It's just self, isn't it? Just like this. So then don't I just want to do self.castToBool negative or map value not value? Isn't that what I want to do? Private data helpers. Private value helpers. Some. Data value Boolean. Question mark? Question mark here. Let value equal that and then do OK. There, I did it. It took me a while. I think it's because it happened before in many countries at some point in the history after Industrial Revolution, usually in the change of governmental. Here in Brazil has happened. It's very intrinsic in our history to the point almost no one in the working class trusts companies. Yeah, well, because companies are only there to make money for their shareholders or owners. If it's not a corporation, it's owned privately. It's the owners. It makes money for the owners. Now, not to be true, like I don't want to be truly like absolutely pessimistic. Corporations and companies have side effects, like they sell things that we want, they do things that we want, like provide services, but always consider those as the secondary or side effects of them. Primary is to make money. Runs the tests. Okay. Now we're done with binary ops except and unary. We're done with operations except for the membership one. For that to work, I need to have implemented minimally the set. So that's a new kind of value that we haven't dealt with yet. I think it's time. It's time to deal with sets. So the set expression gives us what? A vector. So with the vector of expressions, we evaluate every expression and we get a value, and each value goes into a hash set or something. Actually, it's whatever I want it to be. We don't have that value type defined yet. So that would be in data value. So yeah, we did this to do. Done. Should I just start with adding set? And I'm thinking that if it make it hash set, that means value has to be hashable. All of these intrinsic types are hashable, so we could implement hash. As long as, like, guess for set, we'd have to, like, is hash set itself hashable? We could find out. By doing that, right, we see if it is. So it has to be hashable. Let's see if we can derive hash from it. The answer is no, because decimal is not hashable. So we'll have to implement it ourselves. I don't think it's that bad because we can just we can reinterpret F64, right? Yeah. Oh, thank you, Grey Jack. You can make it ORed. Are you expecting to have many items in the set? No, not many items. So I could just make it a vector, right? But the problem with that is that I already have a vector type. So if you use set in my language, it sort of implies that you want fast lookup. So I guess it doesn't have to be a hash set. It could be what is the other one? A B tree set. Floats do ruin everything. For less than 10,000, B tree set has better performance and more flexible. So we could do a B tree set. In fact, it satisfies, so it already has one advantage. It works with floats. At least on the surface it does, but it might be because of all these other errors now. So maybe we should first resolve these other errors. So we have to be able to convert it to a U size, which is going to be no, can't do it. Error. sets cannot be cast to useSize. Question mark. Aha, see, I'm learning. I'm learning that we don't have to do a toString. In fact, this works just as well. These we do need a toString because this type try from int arr is not convertible to string. We tried that and it doesn't work. Unfortunate. Okay, moving on. Display. Values. Right. Actually, what? I want to use the same punctuation that my Lexer uses. That's output, right? What punctuation does set notation use? Actually, that's not there. It's grammar. Less than parentheses. Bracket for vectors and braces for maps. So I use less than parentheses. Less than parentheses. Okay. Less than parentheses. For value and values. Let mute first equals true. If not first. This business again, right? Where we have like a comma separated thing. Mismatch types, expected, found unit, because we removed that semicolon. Try removing this. What? Oh, wait. Is it trying to tell me that's, well, anyway, this should have been a right str, right? Is that infallible? It is fallible. I don't understand this part. Why does it want it to be infallible? Right, str returns a result though. Oh, I think I see why. No, I don't see why. Oh, no, I do. If we did that, then we have to do an okay. Yeah, I must just be tired, right? But that just always returns that result without transforming it. This is just better and faster, right? Just to say, hey, it's a slice. Okay. Cast to unsigned integer. We can't do that. What? No actions? Why not? Oh, right. Because it gets really confused about this, right? So I have to manually do this. Do I just do underscore here, maybe? Just it's incompatible types? Or do I do something more descriptive? Which should be this. Again with the toString. We don't need that. We can do the magic of the question mark. Error. Cannot convert set to integer. Float has something called total comp to use if you want to implement ordered for value. Oh, thank you. I am robot. Wait, it didn't like my question mark? Oh, because of this. But if that's a string, does it work then? No. Why doesn't that work? Oh, because it does a return. It does an early return. And we don't want it to early return. We just want to... So can I just do an into? No. What is it that... is it try? That does just the error type conversion, but not the early return. Try into? Well, okay, I guess we're going back to toString. What a bummer. I would have preferred to use the question mark operator. All right, moving on. This should be like unsigned integer and signed integer, right? In decimal. And string we can do, right? Maybe not. But we could format it. Actually, why am I not using the formatter here? Shouldn't I? Where's the formatter? Here. It shouldn't. Should I just use the formatter for this? So it should be like some value format. Actually, is just toString implemented by the formatter? It is. That goes to formatter. Look at that. So there's a blanket implementation for all types that implement display to for toString. It's just you just make a formatter and you format it to the string. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Describe type. Yes, we need one for set. If it weren't for this, I could have done the toString outside. Set. We're set. Warning. Delete warning. Okay. How do we evaluate a set? That's to do. We'll do it later. Try from. So this is converting to Boolean. I think it should be if the set is empty, it's false. If the set is not empty, it's true. But maybe we make that to do and force myself to make a test. Oh yeah, all of our operations have to define what it means to add to sets. I think for a set that it's easy. We just add it to the end of the set. So values. But we have to return a new value. So I think we're going to clone the set, right? Yeah, because it would be some set plus a value would be a new set. Let's mute new set superset. Superset's one word, right? Superset is values.clone superset.insert value. Okay, some value set superset. And I just totally broke a rule, didn't I? I should have done a to-do and made a test for this. How about we do a to-do and comment this out for now. Force myself to make a test for that. Yeah. So all of these really should just be to-do. I should do that. I should have a test for every single thing. We'll have an explosion of to-dos because of this. Non-exhaust. So one of the strengths of Rust enums, though, is it checks for the exhaustive patterns, missing arms and all that, right? No arms shall go missing. I should have just done set vector and map all at the same time, right? Hey, but look, we're passing a lot of tests, right? No, we're failing one. D to S. Oh, we changed the formatting of decimals. So it's actually displaying it with 6 figures. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Lulls plus 0.1. Yeah, sure. Do this. Wait, how are we failing other tests now? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I broke it. The display trait does put quotes around it, but the toString should not. Oh, yeah, I should fix that. Okay, so there's a special case for strings in value of the implementation of toString. Or was that again? Implementation. That's, how about here? Nope. Cast to string, right? Yeah. So there's we can do that for most, but we can't do it for value string. For that, it's some value s.clone. Okay. Nope. It just wants the string. Everything else, though, we could leverage the display trait. There we go. Fixed it. Okay. I shouldn't have made a test, or I should not have started making changes for adding set without making a test for set first. So let's add a test for sets. I guess just make a new test module called set. Mod set. Okay. take a small test and copy it. Hey there, I played poker badly. How are you doing today? Rimo 8 wave. It's Rimo 8 hey, but that word wave hey, same thing. Only I can use those emotes now. That's kind of sad, isn't it? Set. So let's just keep it simple. Return set or return, and we'll just do our literal set, right? 42 and 69. No bits. Let foo equal that. It's a component. So assert equal value, data value, some data value, set I don't know what does maplet give me for in terms of macros for this maplet. B tree map, B tree set, B tree set, B tree set. For foo.value. Can I do an import of that? No, but I can do an in. Why can I do an inline, but I can't do an import? Use maplet. There we go. Oh, it's still wrong. Cannot determine resolution. Import resolution is stuck. Try simplifying macro. I have to use bracket braces. What? Is it possible ingestion doesn't use maplet? Yeah, that's what this is trying to tell me, right? Yeah, okay, that's the problem. Yep, so where did I use maplet? 1.0 in the parser. Okay, so put it here. All right, that was the real problem. So I kind of like to use brace square brackets there. We have to implement ORD in order to do comparison. Well, ORD would be an interesting one. So can I do... We were talking about this earlier in chat, right? We can do partial ORD. It's not good enough because this needs ORD, right? And I can't just implement ORD, right? Because of equal not being implemented, but we can implement equal except for floats. And then in chat, it was total CMP if we want to implement equal. Right? So implement. Is equals one of those that you can implement? Or is it one of those marker traits? Or is it ORD that doesn't work for it? So we do a match. Oh, wait. The types could be different, right? So this is actually a lot harder than I thought. I mean, I could just give these things arbitrary order. I also want this to be sorted. I could just order them by type, and if they're the same type, then order their values. This is how painful is this going to be? Each of these has to have now match other. I mean, somewhat painful, right? Somewhat painful. Tell Rust Analyzer to expand the partial order implementation, change it to order, then manually implement partial order, wrapping the order implementation. Yeah, I always do that wrong. But I still have to do this painful stuff right here, right? Ord is a marker trait. It's partial ord that I want, right? Is it I need to implement equal now that I have partial equal? Don't need that. I have to do partial equal also, don't I? It's worse than I thought. Wait, what? Do I? So I have to have a blanket, or I have to do it this way? Ord isn't a marker trait. So what did you say I should do? Manually implement partial ord. Expand the partial ord implementation. Expand. Oh, expand it. Oh, I see what you mean. Implement it in terms of. So it would be self.partial compare other. Option. I did this before, right? Did I do it in this project? Nope. Am I doing this backwards? Is it I implement partial or I implement ord and then partial ord is on it's the other way around, isn't it? So partial ord. Nope, that's also wrong. Or I guess I could just do some. It's basically saying there's always some order, right? So that's one way I could do it. I still have an error. Where is this error? Mismatch type. Oh, this has to have data value in it. Data value unsigned integer parentheses end parentheses. Now it's no errors, but I got a bunch of missing implementation. I have a feeling that like, see, I did it that way. I did implementation of particle and equals just a marker. I should have done it the other way around for partial ord and ord, right? Or did I do this right? This is right, right? This is a strict ordering, and just partial ordering is just there always is some. The other way would, I guess, would be we do implement partial ord, and we always say it's some, and then ord would just unwrap. This seems cleaner to me because it's definitive when we're not dealing with um, options. So K, B, L, and R. L dot compare with R. Let's do the diagonals. The diagonals are all like this, right? Total compare R. There's what was in chat before that we could use that. L and R. This is actually two-parter, right? Actually, no. The internal thing should have it, right? L dot compare R. Yeah, okay, we're good. Actually, can't partial equal use ord and just say it's compare ordering equal? Yeah, can't I just say I can just have this leverage, right? Self dot compare other equal standard compare ordering equal. Is equal leverage compare equal? Like, can I do self compare is equal? Does that just do compare to equal matches? Okay, fine. It's shorter. Is that legit? That's legit, right? Okay. I see no objections from the Rust experts in chat, so I think I'm doing it okay. You can always mem compare for partial equal. That's true. Well, except for sets, right? Those aren't going to memory compare because they're on the heap. I plan to actually get rid of all these to-dos and have a blanket thing that just compares their types. So it's not going to be as awful as it seems right now. It's just that I need to handle the diagonals. Oh, there's no comparison for... Oh, I did it in the wrong place. I think what I want to do is if they're different types, there's like a strict ordering of the types, so that in the end the sets will have like it'll be grouped by values of similar types. So the idea would be if it's anything else, R. Actually, can I just handle it in the outer and like in an even a higher order match? I could just match. I could match based off of their types. I can do if they're the same type. Then if they're different types, I have to have like a way to do a type comparison instead of a value comparison. How do you do something like that? Well, okay, I'll just deal with it differently. So this would be I should just build it into this, right? The variant number. Can you get the variant number? That'd be the easiest. How do you get the variant number? Okay. I'm now these days preferring to go to ChatGPT for something like this. How do I get the variant number from an enum value? Oh, I wasn't explicit enough. Sorry, I meant in Rust. Stop generating. In Rust, you can get the variant number from enum using the match statement. The variant number can be constructed as the position of the variant in enum definition. They're just saying to do it manually. So there's not an automatic way to do it? Is there a way to get a Rust enum variant number automatically without needing a match statement? There isn't a built-in way to automatically get the variant number enum without using a match statement. So I need to like make something that generates it. One approach is in an enum you do an assignment. You think there is? ChatGPT thinks there isn't. It's just one of those rare situations where ChatGPT is wrong. Okay, well I'm inspired by ChatGPT to have like an implementation for value. I'm looking for implementation of value. I don't have a extra implementation for value. How about we just add it right after the value here? Or maybe at the bottom. I don't know, standard implementations first, then bare functions. So yeah. How about right here then? Function. Something easy. So like rank usize match self. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I can say let L rank equal self.rank. Let R rank equal other.rank. If L rank is not equal to R rank, return L rank compare to R rank. Actually, I could just do this with a match, right? Match self.rank compare with other.rank. Well, then I'm going to end up returning the well, I guess we can just say CMP, return CMP. And then if it's the equal, then it's all of this stuff down here. So this entire match, which I'm about to shorten anyway, right? So the idea would be that I just have the R be unreachable. For everything else except for the diagonal. Does that make sense? Actually, I don't even need an R, right? Just underscore. They have to be the same type. Hey, there's C17R. Greetings, program. Because the old discriminant is the same as the newer discriminant, the new number of the discriminant number of the enum. Discriminant, that's it. Use the strum cargo package for extra enum stuff. The standard mem discriminant, but it doesn't give you a number, it gives you an opaque type. Maybe that would be okay here, as long as I can, as long as it implements partial ord. Actually, it doesn't even need to implement partial ord. It just has to implement partial equal. Because all I need to do is it equal or not? If it's not equal, then, well, no, it has to be order. It has to implement ord, actually. So if discriminant support implements ord, then it'll work. But I could just use rank. No big deal. No big deal. We'll just do it manually. I just don't know if this technique is sound. I'm hoping it's sound. Copy, paste, cut, 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 copy, paste, cut, 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 copy, paste, cut, 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 cut. This looks gross to me, but I don't know of a shorter way to say this. It's if they're the same rank, then we have to look at the value, and if the two things are of different types, it's unreachable because otherwise we would not go into the equal ordering, right? If it's not equal ordering, it's the rank itself is how we compare. I really don't like these unreachables though. If there was a way to like for us to know that the types are going to be the same, but I just thought of a different way to do it, right? We can do it this way. we can match a tuple with self or other. And in here, I just have to say this. And then I repeat the other types. Copy, paste, 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 paste. How many do we have? Decimal. Set. Signed integer. String, unsigned integer. And then I get the advantage of having, I guess I can just say that, right? I don't even have to make it a tuple. There we go. This has to be total compare. So now we just use the power of a tuple to reduce all of the unequal types to one path, and the equal types to the minimum that we need. I think this is okay. This is readable, right? If compare the rank of the two types, if they're equal, then get their values out and compare them. It's unreachable if the types aren't the same. If the ranks are different, then just the rank ordering is the order for the values. Okay, so we're done, right? Run the tests. It's going to pass first try. No, it failed. Oh, not yet implemented somewhere. Oh, set. Yeah, so I don't have literal sets. Well, set construction. So this is like expressions. Self construct set from expressions. I mean, I guess I could put it in the same file. Yeah. Function construct set from expressions. So that gives me a return scope, right? Also, there's a self, which is mutable. It's not return scope. Oh, it's a result. Option, data value, error. No. Okay. Set is immutable. Right, because we let the caller deal with the error. This shouldn't be too bad. It's just we're building a B tree set. So let mute values equals B tree set new. And then at the end, we're doing OK sum value set or value data value set values. Okay, so for expression and expressions, let value equal self dot evaluate expression. Question mark. Actually, it's even simpler than that. It's just, can I just do a collect? I can just do a collect into a B tree set, right? So I can, first we'd say values.insert, but then we realize that we're really just doing a collection. So we can just say values equals expressions dot map, well, iter dot map to expression, self-evaluate expression dot collect question mark. Can do so I have to actually say the type. Yeah, because yeah, it doesn't really know. Collect result hash set. No, B tree set. This is data value. Ooh, what? Value has to use standard allocator? Oh, I got this wrong. Can I just say that then? Yes. Oh, no, there's a problem. Option. So this has to say like sum. Actually, evaluate expression should return me an option value. Okay, so then what's the problem with set? Oh, this is wrong. It should be option value because we can put nil in a set. That's gonna complicate what I had before, right? But yeah, that was wrong. Yeah, so this can be a none. So we can't print a none. I guess we say if let some value equals value, else write none or nil question mark semicolon. Okay, one error. You can just do result that. I don't have to actually say B tree set. Yeah, so this has to be sum. Go away. Okay, we got a warning. Yeah, it doesn't need to be mutable, and we'll get rid of the explicit type in there. Yep, you are correct. And this can even be reduced more, right? I don't need the word values in there at all. Okay, some set of expressions. Cool. I like it. You can always add a nil variant. It looks like I didn't have to because my code just works because I'm that cool. Wait, I didn't even have to do the use? Because it's all implied. That's cool. All right, I like it. Let's run it. It works first try. Yes. All right. All right. So I added a bunch of to-dos. What do we do for sets in different situations, right? Yeah, so set to bool should be like if the set is empty or not, I think. So let's go to our set test. And we'll say test set empty. So this would be let x, or not let, in my language just x equals, and then return x and true. So that'll force it to be cast to a bool. And this should return true. Unexpected token. Left, right brace. Oh, missing a semicolon. Okay, yeah, it just didn't. It didn't meet the grammar. Actually, when it did it give me location information for that? Yeah, line 5, column 9 to 10. Good. I'll make sure of that, because like if not, then I need to fix that. All right. We got a none. Actually I was expecting it to do. So it's not hitting my the to do for some reason. It should have hit that to do. Instead, it gets all the way through. Should we make sure that there's a, yeah, there might be another thing. So let's set up logging. And let's make sure assert not foo.error. It's probably some other thing we hit, right? Masking is unsupported for set. Oh, it's not bitwise. Implement monad for value. No way, different language. What's monad? Okay, cool. We hit the not yet implemented that I wanted, right? So this should be that values. This should be okay. Values dot. Is there no is empty for B tree set? Not is empty, right? Oh, I didn't type values. Values dot is empty. There we go. So then we'll run it along with everything else, and it passes. Yay! I should probably do the opposite test. Set, actually that's the this is the not empty one. So here's the empty set. So that should be false. Pass. Cool. Okay, next to do. Adding sets. Right, so this should add something to a set. Let's copy from where we actually had a set right here. Paste. So we have empty, not empty. Okay, so this is set add. So we have like x equal that. X. Actually, I can just do a plus right here. Plus 420. And I should get back 3 things in the set, right? 420. Not implemented. Perfect. To-do driven development. So delete that, uncomment this. Values is not defined, so remove the underscore. We have to clone it. And now we're done. Failed. We got none back. Let's set up the logger and see what I did wrong. No diagnostic. We just get none. Oh, because I didn't return X. I should just return it, right? Don't need to have an X. Just return it. Hey, we passed. Okay, we don't need a logger. Next to do. We're burning through these to-dos. So divide. What does it mean to divide? I don't think it means anything. Do I even want a unit test for this? I think if we ever get here, we just want an error. So I don't even think I don't care about a unit test for this. Hey there, Grayson. Happy Friday. Oh, you too. Have a fantastic day. And you also, please be filled with positivity and good vibes. Yes. We're going to be doing a lot of streaming this weekend, I think. And we're going to be cutting this hair. The hair's too long. I won't be wild man next week. I'll be like buzz cut. Maybe not buzz cut. But I'm looking forward to that. This is it gets really like uncomfortably long. Well, if Mrs. Raimu was okay being on stream, then yeah, but no, she doesn't like being on stream. CBP and bio got question, but not enough time. What's your top question? You got to go though. Okay, see ya. Please feel free to ask your question. If not here, you can ask in the Discord. Learning algorithms. Oh, I'm into that actually. Like cellular, what is it? Generational algorithms. I'm playing with that in my spare time, my spare time. I actually might do that on stream at some point. I like the idea of using genetic algorithms or generational algorithms to train an AI to simulate things. Like one thing I had was humans versus zombies, and the humans and the zombies would evolve together. There are YouTube videos about this on similar topics, and I find them really fascinating. So I like the idea of just some of these YouTube videos talk about you train the genetic algorithm by having a neural net, and you just insert random you put in random mutations where you can add a node, or you can strengthen or weaken a connection, and you just run it over and over again and you try to keep it in balance so that in my case it would be humans versus zombies. So neither one dies out, or if one population gets really small, then you do something to like keep them from completely going extinct, and then eventually you get to these like balances, these precarious balances, and you start to see interesting things happen in the evolution. Don't post too many memes. One occasional memes are fine, and we even have a special channel for cats. Okay, is this worthy of a unit test, or do I just error? I I didn't make unit tests for these, so maybe I just do the same thing. Dividing sets is undefined. Yeah, I think we're gonna like all these ones that don't make sense. We'll do it. Equals I want to do. Let's get rid of greater than. What does it mean for two sets to be greater? One set to be greater than or equal to the another? What if it's the is the term cardinality correct? Define cardinality. It's like the number of things in a set, right? Yeah. So maybe it's the cardinality that we're comparing in greater than. Except for equal, I kind of want it to be like partial equal. Like it's equal if its members are equal. Maybe greater than or equal would be all of its members are greater than or equal another set. Monad is a property of type, basically satisfying three properties. There's a default value. Possesses an operation where you can compare them. And f compare. Well, no, possesses an operation where m of f op g equals m of f op m of g. And there's an operation that applies that same for the value it holds. So x op 2 y equals z, then mx m op 2 my equals mz. That's very mathematical. So the last one you did was a distributive property. And the mf op g equals mf op mg. That's is that the associative property? Or is that reflect? No, reflexive would be f op g equals g op f, right? I get those mixed up. I think I'm getting them mixed up again. Okay, I think I need more thought on these. Maybe it's cardinality, but maybe it's not. Maybe I just say it's not defined for now. Set equal to, I think we should do, but greater than or equal to, let's not. Order of sets is undefined. Less than. Oh, I lost my clipboard. Copy, paste, cut, copy. Paste, cut, copy. So we got equal, we got modulo, which I think we should just copy from divide. Modulo should just say the same thing. Dividing sets is undefined. Here we'll say multiplying sets is undefined. Subtracting sets is undefined. Actually, no. Subtracting from a set should be that we remove the element from the set, right? So let's add a test for that in set. So set subtract. I could define things like divide to be like something else like intersection or something if I wanted, right? Or I can make new operation. I haven't really designed in things like set, like superset, intersection, difference. Actually, that's a good point. I don't have a set add to set. This is set add non-set. We should have a set adding to add a set to another set. So this would be minus, and that there are two things we could do. We could subtract. So add not set, non-set, non-member, and then there should be one for member, right? So there's that. And then there's the non-set member, where we subtract like 42, and then we get just 69 left. Then let's go ahead and add them now. We'll add a set to a set. That's the union. So adds set. So set union would be two sets. Let's put 69 and 420. So we should get all three. And then subtract set. The variant of that is difference. So the difference between two sets just gives us 69. Okay. Let me implement the set union first. This is going to fail because it'll say it can't. Well, if I set up the logger, it's going to say it can't convert a set to an integer, but we don't need it to. Oh no, it doesn't do that. It just panics because it puts the set in as a member of the set. Actually, maybe that's what we wanted to do. A set containing these two numbers and another set. I think actually we do want to act this way. Union and difference should be other kinds of operators, right? So maybe we use the bitwise OR for union because that's what set math usually uses those operators for that, right? Yeah, okay, so this isn't well, so union would be different. It would be OR. And difference is and, right? Or The and is actually something else, right? So I need like another symbol, like hat or something. Exclusive or maybe. Except for it's not actually exclusive or. So maybe we'd skip this one for now because I have no operator that explicitly matches set difference. Yeah, like there is no bitwise operator matches set difference, does it? Um, it would be like and of the inverse of. So we don't have that yet. But I should be able to subtract non-set members. And actually this just means subtract now. Subtract non-member and subtract member. Okay, and then there's union. Do I want to do like set add to set? I think I do want to do that. Just to show that we can set add set. So that's this. So what it does is there's a set inside of the set. So instead of that, it's just another set inside of this set, which we allow now. Like this, and this one's got a 69 in it also, but it's also got a 420. And we got to wrap it in a sum. There we go. As odd as it is, this should actually work. Yep, it works. Okay, union's not going to work. Because it's going to say inclusive or is not supported for set. But if we define it to be union, it would. Inclusive or. So I got, what, another 15 minutes? 15 to 30 minutes before I got to do some work. Yeah, so we have value set fighting the keyboard. Okay. Question, why are test functions are outside of a module? They're technically, well, they're literally in a submodule, if that makes sense. So set is in a larger module called tests. Tests here. And that's where I put common helpers. And tests is pulled in by the lib through configuration test. So it's just a different way of doing it. If you have a small unit test, you typically just do the mod and then you put the tests in there directly, right? But there's nothing that says you can't just end it with a semicolon, and that just means you have a test.rs, right? And these are all your unit tests. But I went a step further and I said, I'm not going to put my test directly in here. I'm going to split it up into submodules. So we have one submodule called set, and that's where all the tests are. That way I'm organizing my tests by what I'm doing. So like, here's the for loop tests, here's the function call tests, and then what we're doing today is in the set tests. Just an organizational trick. Never for a whole crate. I just have so many tests that I need to split them up, you know? Oh. I wonder how many times I've not had a blank line there. Can I actually search for that? I can. Well, that's cool. Let's fix that. I didn't know I could search for things with new lines between them. That's awesome. File, save all. Broke something. Oh, yeah, because we were working on this. Okay, so this should be pretty easy, right? It's just okay, sum value set And the set is going to be lhs.clone.remove. Oh, wait, that doesn't modify, that doesn't return the set. So I got to do this separately. We have to separately clone it. New set, subset. And then mark it mutable because then we got to remove from the set. Remove the right-hand side value. All right, and then we form the subset. Cool. It is expensive, I know, but yeah, it is what it is. So that was here, right? No, wait. Inclusive is superset again. And I did doing this wrong. It's only if it's only if it is a set. So this should be like another match inside. Some value set. And then, yeah, I did this wrong. What's wrong with that? Oh, this should be like, if anything else, there's some kind of error. So, it should be what? Cannot take the union of a set with a, and then this is right-hand side described type. Well, we have to put the right-hand side here. Okay, so this is superset. And we're not removing, we're inserting. And this is going to be for value in RHS. Like that, right? Clone. There we go. Cannot form the union of a set with a blank. All right. Good enough. Run the test. Cool. Tree has a difference intersection. Oh, so it has a union method? I didn't have to do that then? I didn't have to do all of this, you're saying. I could have just said LHS.union RHS. I didn't like that. Do I have to clone or something? Unexpected B-tree option value. Arguments are incorrect. Probably because it modifies, so I have to make a superset first, or make a new set. And then I can do superset union? Well, new set. Well, LHS copy, LHS clone. Actually, then can't I just do an LHS clone union? No, it still doesn't like it. Gset option value found a union. So I guess I'm not understanding how union works. Do I need to collect it or something? Collect. cannot be built over elements of type. Oh, so I do what? Copied? Cloned? There we do. We did it. So clone the left-hand side and then form a union with the right-hand side of cloned. That clones the entire left-hand side. This decorates the iterator to clone each value from the right-hand side, and then it puts it into that left-hand side, and then we collect at the end. Left-hand side union, collect. I think I do because that modifies the left-hand side, doesn't it? It does not. Oh, it outputs a new thing, right? Okay, thank you. I don't have to do the union. So Japo gets a point. Oops. Let's give you 2 points, and then let's give Gray Jack a point. Dang it. I don't know what I just did, but I did something. Oh, and I can't parse that. That's just me messing up with my keyboard. There's a point. Cool, we did union, clone, collect. Awesome. And it passed. Subtract non-member, subtract member. So if I had an operator to express difference, we could do that. Or intersection. Actually, isn't and an intersection? Let's do intersection. If an intersection is an and, right? Set intersection. That's an and. Then we should get 69. Right? And we get a panic. We get, because masking is not supported, it says. There we go. So we can go to what we did for inclusive OR and just copy that in there, right? And paste. And we say that this is the intersection. Cannot form the intersection of. Easy. First try. My tests are we up to now? Oh, we broke something. Set subtract member. It's failing with no reason why. Oh, not yet implemented. Oh, I never implemented that. Huh, good thing I checked. Okay, so for a set, LHS, it's just, well, I can just copy from add, right? It's form a new set with one fewer value in it. So this is a subset. This is just remove, and I don't need to clone the value. Left-hand side. Set. Yeah, run. There we go. Morning, TS Joss. I do have more than you thought. Did you change your username? Gray Jack? Hold on, let me look. If you tell me what your username used to be, I could see if maybe the points got. Sometimes if the bot can't associate an old and a new username, that can happen. So I'm just browsing off stream here. Browse user table, and then we'll just look for login. Look for the G's. There sure are a lot of people who have been in the channel. A lot of GOs. Okay, there we go. Gray Jack. 12 points. 340 messages. Some coding guy. Hi. Thanks for the raid. Trying to figure out why Gray Jack only has 12 points. How goes oxidized iron? It goes pretty well. So there is no Gray Jack. There is no other account that looks like Gray Jack other than Gray Jack, unless maybe it was a different name completely. I was building a C++ RPG, but now because of the new job, I got some job rules, and I need to spell that correctly. Job rule 1 is no game development. So that's on hold while I have the current job. Yeah, I don't know, Gray Jack. Maybe I should just give you a bunch of points. Well, okay, I should revise that. I can mention that I have a job. I just can't mention that I just can't talk about it. So yeah, fair enough, TS Jost. Edit command job rules doesn't talk about work. Well, doesn't like, what's a short way to say this? Doesn't reveal what his work is. There we go. That should cover it, right? Hold on, I'll tell you guys what I've been working on lately. I just need to fix this. Okay, we updated the bot command. Yeah, so because of the job I got, I've actually been in this job for a couple of years now. So that game has been on hold for like 2 or 3 years now. So instead I'm doing little projects in Rust. So the first thing I did is I made this keyboard, which you can read more about in the keyboard command. And then I played around with WGPU and eGUI, and I did some advent of code, and now I'm working on porting an old tool I made in C++ to Rust called the DataDisintegrator. So it's a parser. It pulls apart bytes from a file or a stream and figures out what it means based on the format that you can write in a domain-specific language. So I like to say that if you can describe your data structurally and functionally, so what are the parts of the file and how do you parse it, like the loops that you need to do, then it will give you a data structure which represents the input, kind of like what Wireshark does. When you give it a bunch of packets, it starts out with raw bytes, but it figures out where the packets are in that byte stream, and then if you click on a packet, it shows you the meaning of every byte in that packet. So I'm kind of making something like that, but it's in Rust. What's libmagic? Is that another similar tool? What's libmagic? That's libmagic. Is it a Python thing? What I just described. This looks like just a wrapper for libmagic. We're not finding what libmagic is. Unless that's what libmagic does. So is it this? Magic number recognition library? I think this is a specifically narrow use of the tool I'm making. Mine's very general purpose. So this is just finding out what a file's type is, right? So that's one thing that what I'm making can do, because that's what sort of this is doing. You're looking at the first 24 bits, and if it's that, it's a GIF. But mine goes deeper. It actually decodes the whole thing. File sending, yeah, I got it. Yeah, so mine you could implement the magic number detection using it, but I allow you to go deeper. And I actually would like it to go deep enough that it could reconstruct the image pixel by pixel if I wanted to. For a lot of formats, you have to do 2 passes though, because you get down to where you get data blocks, and then those are encoded. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to reassemble the blocks and then decode them, like decrypt or decompress or whatever. And so that's a second pass, because the first pass we have to identify where all the data subblocks are, and then we reassemble them into a new bit stream, and then we parse that new bit stream. So I haven't gotten that far yet. So mine will do 1 pass of an image file, and it'll give you all the data blocks, and now you have to like do the second pass yourself. But I do plan to augment this to, like, conceivably we would mark these blocks with some syntax like at bitstream LZW. I'm just inventing syntax here. Like, what if we invented an at, and then that actually took the bits that we find in here and actually inject them into a new bitstream, a synthesized bitstream that then we could then iteratively like run the parser on that with a different format, right? So that's what I would like to do eventually. Still a good exercise in Rust? Yeah. Mostly the stream is about having fun with Rust, so, and learning things, and mostly chasing down these to-dos. So there are 5 places in the code where we have not implemented. So we're working on sets today, and so I have set intersection, set union, adding and removing things from the set by single value, set construction in the first place. So I haven't done set equality or inequality yet. And I haven't done set membership. And then after I do sets, I need to do vectors and maps. And vectors are interesting because we can actually form implicit vectors in this parsing scheme. So, for example, when we have a while loop, the things that are in the while loop are actually now vectors. Header and trailer are not vectors because they're not in a loop. Right? There's only one header, there's only one trailer, but there are as many datas as there are as there were loop iterations at runtime, which is an important distinction, right? It's sort of what you want, because structurally what this is saying is the GIF has one header, one logical screen, and it has as many data blocks as it takes until you see the trailer, right? So to fully support vectors in my parser, I'll need to have the vector type established, and then I'll have to have this vector context so that when we're parsing and we enter a loop, now we know that we're in a vector context. Any new part that we make is a vector implicitly, and we'll have to have an index. So the first time through the loop, it'll be index 0. Next time through the loop, index 1. And you could have interesting things where you have 2 parallel vectors and only one gets populated. You could say, like, if next equals 1, then it's a data block. Else it's a non-data block, or let's say a text block. I'm just inventing syntax here at this point. If I were to do that, then data and text would both be vectors, but they would not be simultaneously populated. It would be alternate. So you might have a data block in index 0 and nothing for text block 0. Then in index 1, you might have nothing for data, but you might have a text instead. So it's going to get interesting. It'll be particularly interesting when we look at it in the graphical viewer. So I intend to eventually have a graphical viewer for it. And also script it. So we want to do things like make a small tool that just tells me the width and height of an image. It would use the parser, and it would really just focus in on getting these 2 values and printing them. Okay, thanks for the raid, and have fun. Have a great rest of your day or evening. Fairfield County Market Space for Harvard. Good luck. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I gotta go soon-ish. Soon-ish. All our tests are passing, right? We have 433 tests. File matching does image sizes if you want to get all the descriptors for every image format. What would be useful for me is if eventually I'm going to write the specification for every image format, if someone's already collected them all together for me, to get this, I had to actually look at the specification written in 1989. And they used a Bacchus nor form syntax down here. Somewhere around here. Appendix A, I think. But like, yeah, here it is. This was written like 30, 40 years ago, right? So it was, there's a lot of things that have changed since then. And it's hard, it's not an automatic translation. So it would be nice if someone has already written like pseudocode for different image formats, and then I could more easily map it to my grammar. Haven't seen a classic BNF for a while. Yeah, that's classic. You can tell because it's got colon equal. Who does that anymore? Nowadays, we'd have like Lollerpop is how I do that. My compiler's BNF rules. It's single colon and then equals. A lot more loose, wouldn't you say? Colon equals. That's like old school. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yeah, because I have my own language, I have to have my own compiler, so I have my own lexer and parser, and the parser is written with Lollerpop. The grammar rules are, but it's constructing Rust out of that. A Rust a abstract syntax tree. All right. Yeah, so have a great day. Thanks for the raid again. I'm almost done with set. I wonder if I could finish it before I have to go to my meeting. Set equality and inequality should be really easy, right? Because they have to be sets. So I'd implement it similarly to the intersection. So I could just look at what I did for inclusive or. It's just that it has to be a set, and then we would just do an equal, right? So let's go back to set and add a test for that. So let's copy from set intersection, and it would be set equal false. So this should be some data value Boolean of false. Okay, and then true. And here we'll just cut that 0 out. Now it's true. Okay, and then the idea to implement this would be to copy from the union over to the equality. So yeah, it would just literally paste that there, right? So this would be just LHS equals RHS, right? Boolean. And then otherwise it's cannot compare a set with a blank. That's because it's an option. How do I, oh, we do that, we do support that, right? Is it just value helpers? Yep, that was it. All right, so back to set. Easy. Pass or test. Both passing. 435 tests. And it still takes less than a second to run the test. That's what you want to aim for unit tests, by the way. If you start to get to where your tests take so long that you don't want to run them, then you've made a big mistake. Optimally, you want your unit tests to run so fast that you could have them automatically run every time you hit save. I don't have that set up. That might be an interesting thing. Oh, there was another interesting thing I thought of before the stream today. Wouldn't it be cool if we had language server support for my language so that in my editor I can get syntax highlighting, colors, and all that stuff? So that might be a fun thing. Let's put that on the to-do to consider writing VS Code plugin for our language. There we go. Hey there, the Wrapped. It's a good idea. I would have to do it in JavaScript, right? Because this thing is a JavaScript environment. I'd be okay with that if in the end the reward is that we get colorized formats. That would be awesome. What's Cocoon? Cocoon. Is that another editor? I thought you would say Vim. And Vim, the Vim one would be like there's like a generic language server library that Vim would use, right? And then that would also be usable by other kinds of editors. That's my understanding. You just make a language server plugin. Maybe even VS Code would work with that, right? If VS Code can work with a generic language server, and they can just have a language server plugin for this format. I think LSP can be in any language. Editor similar to Vim. Okay. Vim has a generic LSP generic plugin. Hey there, homemade apple pies. I have very little time left before my first meeting of the day at work, so let's just do the not equal one, and then I'll leave set membership for the next stream, and then along with vector and map. So we're gonna do the test for it first. Okay, let's just copy the equal false and true and make it set not equal true and not equal false. And I'll just reverse this. So that's not equal and that's a true. And this one's a not equal and that's a false. Okay, and so running this will hit not implemented. Right there, right? But we're going to implement it just by shamelessly stealing from the equal implementation. Paste it there, and then we just change that to a not equal, and I think we have to do the same import as underscore, and we're done. Easy. 437 tests. Yeah, it's probably a good idea to stop here. So next stream we'll do set membership, vector, and map, and then we'll be just kidding, not completely done. We have to also, or I would like to also address all the to-dos and comments, which are things like that tests are needed or refactoring is needed. Not counting the C++, we have to like whatever that is. Errors for limits that we can't parse. A super gross return type that we want to fix. Don't think it's possible to reach here. Yeah, more descriptive errors. We maybe should write erroneous functions. They should infect the caller, right? These will actually end up needing to do when we do vector context. So that should get naturally handled, that too, right? Decrement statement. Make a function wrapper that returns an error with diagnostic string with the side effect of marking the component as erroneous. I don't remember why I have that. I have that on increment and decrement. Consider refactoring the unwrap or else really goes with the build part. Oh yeah, this needs to be refactored. Still wanted to use right join there, and for this one, Consider using the expected field. Yeah, because we're not printing out that. Yeah. What about all these other errors? I guess we figured out that that's impossible. And that's impossible because those are only if we use Lollerpop's Lexer, which we're not using. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, I got stuff to do on next stream. It's probably going to take the whole next stream to do vector context stuff. Map actually probably end up doing in and then map because map is just a natural extension to set, right? It's a set with values. Yep, gotta go. Let's find someone else. Looks like Tim is in a break, which explains why TS Joss is here. Could raid either. Well, I can't raid. Musen doesn't like to be raided anymore. I guess it's gonna be Soding. All right, lots and lots of people already watching Soding, so we're just kind of slide into chat and be as nice as possible and not cause a stir. So it's sort of like a low key raid here, a small streamer raiding a much huger one. So be nice. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.